Fresh. Welcome, welcome. Today I'm going to start a new blanket, and it is the Study of Snow, and it's designed by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. And I love Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. I said hi and good morning to everybody, and I was no volume, so minor technical difficulties this morning. But I am very excited. I am live over on YT this morning, and I figured out how to make it horizontal. So that is a big accomplishment this morning for me. So anyhow, good morning, Susan. Hey, Mary. Good morning. Alicia's here. Cindy. Hey, everybody. Deb is in the house. Hey, Sparky, good morning. So anyhow, this is a new blanket I'm going to start, and I just made this up for to take a picture, but I'm going to start from scratch. And so the Study of Snow, there's a link over on my link tree for the written pattern and also for the YT tutorial that Mikey did. It's a very fun blanket. I've made it before. He did it with Bernat blanket. Now today I'm going to be using a different yarn. I am using Red Heart Super Saver. I had some skeins of this over in my stash, and I thought it would be a good yarn for this pattern. So it's called Aran Fleck. I hope I'm saying that right. But it's really cool. If you guys can see, it's got like these little flecks of color in it. It's kind of a natural looking, but I really enjoy using Red Heart for Mikey's patterns like this when they have a lot of texture. And so that's what I'm going to be using today. So I started with a little center square, but I'm going to start from scratch and kind of go over some of these stitches. Now I did make this blanket before. You can find a video of this on my page. The one that I made for my sister down in Florida, it was made with this same pattern. So anyhow, without further ado, let's get fired up here this morning. It's a new skein of yarn, so I'm going to have to do some pulling out of the skein. Now what do I do with my hook? Here we go. Start off with losing my hook. No sound and losing my hook. What do you know? Marisha said, maybe you can teach me how to read Yarspirations patterns because they're written weird. So here's the thing. When it's stuff like this, where it's the text of the patterns, I don't really understand any of this. So what I like about Mikey's patterns, and this one happens to be a Yarnspirations, but do you see this stitch diagram here? This makes sense to me. For whatever reason, I can understand how the stitches get placed. You can look at the little legend. And so because I'm a very visual person, to see this picture with the symbols, that's what I use to make this. And it is a repeating pattern. So basically we start out right here, and then this stitch here, you can see is a back post half double crochet. So from here to here, this is a repeat. And so basically what this diagram is telling me, when I get up here to round 13, it's saying go back down here and then repeat. And so basically this and this row are the same thing. And then I'm just going to do another stack of those, another stack of those, and just keep on going. So that's the only way that I know how to read these patterns. I know other people can read all of the text on this and it makes sense, but for me, it doesn't really compute. So I'm going to look at the stitch diagram and go with it. So the way that Mikey does it, this little symbol here is for chain. And so what he's saying is we're going to start with a chain of 4. And then see that little dot right there? I don't know if you can see it on camera. This means we're going to slip stitch. Now I'm going to do it different because you know me. I'm a rule breaker. Let's fire up the crochet police this morning because I'm already doing my thing. I'm going to start with a magic ring. I just find that it's easier, and so I'm going to start with a magic ring. Now what this says, after we make our magic ring, this stitch here is a double crochet, and you can see that on the legend. And so basically we're going to do 3 double crochets into that magic ring. Then we're going to chain 2 in between. That's what those mean. And we're going to do that all the way around. So this is showing one side because this is a square. So like I said, this makes sense to me seeing the diagram. But I do have a really, really hard time reading the pattern. So good morning, everybody who's just hopping on. Let me get my tablet over here closer so I can see what the heck is going on. I am live on both YT and TikTok this morning, so I did thank you everyone for your help yesterday. I figured out how to make my YT horizontal. I still haven't figured out how to see the comments on my TV, but you know, one day at a time. I feel pretty good just for getting the YT going this morning. So anyhow, my magic rings I do a little different, and so however you do your magic ring, or like I said, you could do a chain of 4 as well. But I'm going to start with a standing double crochet into my magic ring. I kind of scoot this over and tighten it up a little bit. Now I need 2 more double crochets into that magic ring. Okay, then it says we're going to chain 2, so that's going to be the corner of our project where we do these chains. Now I'm going to do 3 double crochets. And guys, if you want to make this pattern, there's links on the link tree for both the video that Mikey did over on YT and also the written pattern. So feel free to check those out. There's a link to the yarn I'm using as well, but you can change up the colors of this pattern as well. He does it all in white, but I've done this with like ocean blue colors, and it turned out fabulous. It's a beautiful blanket. My sister has it down in Pensacola. I made it as a gift for her. So anyhow, we're just working our way around this magic ring, creating basically the 4 sides of our blanket. And so it's pretty much just like a granny square. If you guys are familiar with how to make granny squares, it's pretty much started the same way. So now I'm going to slip stitch into the very first stitch, and I'm going to work my way with slip stitches over the corner. Now everybody does this a little different. What Mikey likes to do is he likes to do a half double crochet over here, and that just doesn't really stick with me. So, you know, I kind of do my own thing. Now at this point, you can close the magic ring. When I'm working with these smaller projects like this, I will leave the magic ring open if it's not too big. It just gives me a little more to hang on to so my project is not as small. So if we go back to our pattern now, we just finished round 1. Now we're going to do round 2, and round 2 and 3 you'll see here are the plus sign, which is a single crochet. And what this tells us is we're going to do into the top of each stitch. So here's our 3 stitches. That one gets a single crochet, that one gets a single crochet, and that one gets a single crochet. Now you can see this over here represents the corner. See how there's one floating out here? That means in the corner here we're going to do a single crochet, and if you look at it this side, here it is as well. So the corner is going to get a single crochet, chain 2, and then I'm going to repeat that, so a single crochet. If we skip ahead to row 3, you can see it's basically the same thing. Now this little stitch that comes down here with the loop-de-loop on the bottom, that's for the next row. That's for row 4. I don't know if the colors are coming through very good. It's in blue and black, so it's a little challenging to see. But basically, I'm going to need 2 rows of single crochets right on top of each other. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm in the corner, and it says we're going to do a single crochet. So I do a single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2, and then I do another single crochet. So there's our corner. Now it says I'm going to put a single crochet on the top of each one of these. Halloween pillows a week or... no, I haven't crocheted any Halloween pillows. I made some Halloween ghost on the live, and I do a lot of baby blankets. But welcome, welcome. Mama too, I'm glad to have you, and welcome everybody. Now guys, this pattern is a little complicated as I'm doing these stitches, so I will forewarn you all right now, if I miss your comment, it is not intentional, okay? I'm not trying to overlook you. Feel free to ask it again. After we have some moderators hop on, hopefully this morning, they'll be able to pin some comments for me. But as I'm going over these stitches and stuff this morning, this is a little more complicated like than when we do our baby blankets and stuff. So I'm going to try to explain these stitches as I go, and that means I might miss some stuff. Okay, so feel free to answer questions among yourselves as well. you know, we've got a lot of people here that can, you know, help point people to where to get the pattern and whatnot. So basically, here we are to the corner again. So I did a single crochet in the top of each one of these. And now I'm going to do a single crochet in the corner, chain 2, and then a single crochet. Yes, Pete, good morning. I am working on a new blanket this morning. This pattern is called the Study of Snow, and it is by Mikey over at the Crochet Crowd. And Mikey is one of my favorite yarn artists, we'll call him. He makes fabulous blankets and all sorts of other patterns as well. And so this is a free pattern. The link is on my link tree. And I'm using a Red Heart yarn this morning. This is Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo is what I have. And the colorway I'm using is Aran Fleck. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think I am, but who knows? So it's a really pretty yarn, and I thought it would lend itself well to this blanket. But you'll see me popping back on the diagram. I don't read patterns, but I definitely can read diagrams like this. So I'm going to be talking about this diagram as I work on these stitches and how they relate to what I'm doing. So anyhow, we're right now we're putting a single crochet into the top of these stitches, and I'm working on round 2 right now. So just putting a single crochet. Now here I am, I'm just getting this finished, and at this point I'm probably going to go ahead and cinch up my magic ring. It's starting to get a little bigger. I might do one more round, but I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the corner of my square. So the magic ring with the double crochets was round 1. Now I'm working on round 2, which was the single crochets. Now if we go back to our pattern, you can see here we just finished round 2. So now I'm on round 3. And you can see it has a plus sign, which over here on our legend means it's a single crochet. And if you follow these stitches up, you can see I'm going to do 1 in the top of each stitches. I know that's kind of small to see. Now this represents our corner over here. So see how this one is kind of floating out here? We got an increase. That tells me that the corner has 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and then a single crochet. So that's what we're going to do for this round. So I'm going to start with a single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to do another single crochet into the corner. Now here's my first stitch. I'm going to put a single crochet, and I'm going to put a single crochet in the top of each of these stitches. I've got a new skein of yarn here, so it's a little tight. I'm going to have to be pulling it out and pausing. I know it's frustrating for me, but that's just what happens when you have new yarn. So anyhow, good morning, welcome everybody. This is a really fun blanket. It has a lot of cool texture. Don't feel scared when you see a pattern like this with lots of texture, because I learned from watching Mikey's YouTube, and if I learned, you all can do it too. So I don't know what this pattern is rated, if it's an intermediate or what. Let's look and see what it says. Sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, it's an this is an intermediate pattern. But I am going to break down these stitches, and I'm going to explain them and make it so it's easy to understand. And the other thing, guys, for those that don't know, I am also live streaming over on YT. And I wanted to start doing that because what it does is it records the video, and then it'll save it, and so then you could go back and watch it later as well. So I just did it for the first time yesterday, so I'm still kind of learning over there. But if you want to follow on YT, it is Wheeler 8 Acres, same as what my TikTok is. And this morning I'm using a size, I'm using whatever the yarn recommended. I think it was a size H. It called for an I9. I'm using an H8. This is a medium 4 weight yarn. So I had H sitting next to me, so that's what I'm using. Hopefully it won't be too tight. We'll see how it goes. I definitely recommend using whatever the yarn says, though. I'm kind of a tight crocheter to begin with. So, hey, good morning. Anvil's on. Mama Wheeler, is it widescreen today on YouTube? I'm looking at it on my TV and it is horizontal filling up the screen. It says there's 4 people watching it, but I can't see the comments on YT. When I went horizontal, it made it so I couldn't see the comments of people typing on there. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm new on YT to go in live, so there's going to be some little bugs and quirks I have to work out. So hopefully I'll be able to see the comments. Let's see. I notice you wrap around the hook one way and then wrap the other. Does it matter? So when I think what you mean, Beach Bum, is we're talking about yarn over and yarn under. And when I learned to crochet, I was not conscious of that. I've been crocheting for 40 years, and it wasn't a thing. I learned to crochet from my mom and my grandma, and there was no internet. There was no TV, or I mean, we had TV, but we didn't have a TV when I was a kid. So I didn't really have a way to learn that stuff. So yeah, sometimes I do yarn over, sometimes I do yarn under. For me, it hasn't really made a difference. You just have to be consistent with what you're doing. So I don't get too hung up about it. I know a lot of people do. So it's really just a personal preference, but I just get it through as best I can. So okay, we just finished round 3 here. And now we see this stitch that has the little hook on the bottom. And when you see that, now this one is a back post half double crochet. It doesn't have the little line on it. If you had the little line, which we're going to do some of those as well up here at the top. Sorry, on YT you can't see that. But this one is a back post half double crochet. And it looks like in the corners, I forgot to look at that. The corners, we have 1 treble crochet, chain 2. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to do a treble crochet in the corner and chain 2. And then we're going to do another treble crochet in the corner. So there's our corners. Now, when you're doing back post around single crochets, it can be rather tight and hard to fit in there. So don't get frustrated. It does take some practice, but the way we're going to do this, we wrap our yarn around, and now I have to go from the back. I found it works better if I hold my thumb on this yarn to keep it from moving. I turn my work forward and I go underneath that stitch. So rather than in the top of the stitch, I'm going underneath, and then I grab a loop and pull it up, and now it's a half double crochet, so I yarn over and I pull through both. And I'm going to repeat that the whole way down is the pattern. So I'm just going to keep turning my work, grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all 3. And just slowly work our way across. This, like I said, this is very hard with single crochets. It's one of my least favorite things to do. Sometimes when it's tight like this, I will substitute a half double crochet on the row below, because I'm a bit of a rebel that way. But I am trying to do the pattern as it states. So anyhow, just keep working these little half double back post half doubles. Now here's the corner of the row below. We are going to go around that one as well. So we go around all of the stitches. So there you can kind of see. Now, because I'm using all the same color yarn, the little ridge that's formed there is obviously blending in. Now, if you do this with, contrasting colors, like you could do all of this with one color and then come behind with another color, that'll give you kind of a little row of pop. And you guys have seen me do that before. So here we are in the corners, and I'm going to do a half double crochet, chain 2, and then another half double crochet, Okay, so there's our corner. Now we're ready to start on the next side. So again, this is a back post half double crochet. So we yarn over, and now I kind of hold my yarn here and I put my work forward and I look for that stitch and I go behind it underneath. So it's literally sitting on top of my hook. I yarn over, grab up a loop, then I yarn over and pull through all three. That is a back post half double. Again, I yarn over, I put my work forward, put my hook underneath, grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three. I'm just going to keep doing that the whole way on this side until I get to the corner. So these back posts, they do take a little practice. I think this is one of the reasons why this pattern is considered an intermediate, because it is definitely more difficult. It was a challenge for me to learn, but once I learned it, you know, I could really, I can do these a lot faster. I'm going slow to show all of you guys how they're done. So you just be patient and keep working your way. Don't be afraid to turn your work all the way forward as you're looking for that stitch. It's perfectly normal when you're first learning to do it that way. So here's the last one. So I yarn over and pull through all three. Now here's our corner again. In that corner, we need a half double crochet, chain 2, and then a half double crochet. Okay, now again, here we are on the next side. So I'm going to do, again, I'm doing a back post half double crochet, yarn over, and again, I kind of hold my thumb here. You'll see as I do that, it helps me control my yarn a little better. I look for that stitch, go underneath, grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three. I'm just going to keep working these back post half doubles the whole way down. And this is just adding some fabulous texture to this pattern. I really enjoy this pattern. It was so much fun when I made it for my sister-in-law, and I changed up all the colors. You guys can see that blanket on my TikTok. There's a video of it. It's like a blue ocean color blanket. Thank you for the follows. Welcome everybody. If you're new to my channel here, my name is April, and I go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 7:30 to 9:30 Central Time. And today I'm working on the Study of Snow blanket. This is a pattern by Mikey over at the Crochet Crowd, who I just think is marvelous. And I'm starting this blanket from scratch this morning. So anyhow, you're hopping on at the right time. Now I'm sure down the road I'll work on this blanket again in the future. But we'll be on for a while this morning as I get going on this new project. So in our corners, we have a half double crochet, chain 2, and a half double crochet. Thank you guys for helping answer questions, Gen X and everybody who's helping answer questions this morning. You know, it's challenging when I'm doing some of these stitches I feel like I miss a lot of the comments, guys, and I do apologize for that. It's not intentional. The yarn that I'm using today is Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo, and it is called Aran Fleck is the color. And this is a 4-weight, medium weight yarn. It calls for, I read this as an H8, but what you need to look for is right here actually. So whenever you buy yarn, for those that are new to crocheting, when you buy yarn, if you look at the back of this skein, it will tell you what weight it is. You'll hear people say it's a 3 sport weight or it's a fingering sock weight. This is a 4 medium weight. So this is kind of the run-of-the-mill standard weight acrylic yarn that you'll find. And it calls for an I9 hook. So whenever you're buying your yarn, you would, you know, if you picked out this yarn, you would look on the back and make sure you have this hook 5.5 millimeter. And then if you're going to knit, of course, it tells you there. And then it also says the care instructions. So machine wash and dry. Most of the yarns I try to buy are machine wash and dry, but there are some exceptions. So this is a very nice repeating pattern. We're going to look at the pattern again here in just a moment. But today right now I'm doing back post half double crochets. So I wrap my yarn around. I go down underneath the post. I grab a loop and pull it up. And then I yarn over, pull through all three. Okay, so now again, I'm going to move to the next stitch, wrap my yarn around, go to the back, grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three. Again, that's a half double, back post half double crochet that I'm making. And we're almost to the end of this round here. Now this round that I'm doing is technically the beginning of the repeat. So you will be doing this a lot in your project once you get more rows going, and I'll show you guys all that in just a moment. So here's where we started. We had the corners were half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch right into that corner. Okay, so there's how our little square is shaping up so far. Put it back a little bit for the YT crowd. Okay. Hey Bee's Knees, we worked on a baby blanket yesterday. Do you think this pattern would look nice in a more bold variegated yarn, or would that be too much? No, I think it would look good. And like I said, that blanket I did for my sister-in-law, it had blue, it had green, it had white, it had variegated. It was all Red Heart Super Saver yarn, but I color controlled it. No, I think it would look good. It has a lot of texture. It's a fun pattern. Okay, so let's go back to our pattern here. We just finished round 4. So you can see round 4 here is our row we just finished. Now we're going to start the next round. And you can see here the first 2 stitches out, it looks like we're going, or excuse me, he does his diagrams a little different. I have to read them from this side. The way that Mikey does his joins, when he joins here in the corner, he joins with a half double crochet rather than how I do it with a slip stitch. So we do our work a little different. If you want to do a half double crochet join, that is totally fine, but that's not the way I do it. So the first 2 stitches we're going to have looks like 1 stitch. So this is our corner right here. You can see we ended right here. So it looks like the corners are going to be 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. In between that, you can see we're going to have a chain. We're going to skip a stitch. Then we're going to do a puff stitch. So this little 3 together looking guy, you can look on the legend here and see that that's a puff stitch. So let's do that. So the corners are 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So my first one, I'm going to start with a chain of 3. That's going to count as my first double crochet. Then I'm going to do a second double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2. And now I'm going to do another double crochet. We're going to do 2 of those. So there's our corner, okay? Now we're ready to move to the next stitch. Now, as you're looking at your stitches, see how this stitch is here and you see this top of the stitch? Whenever you're looking at crochet stitches, the top of the stitch always sits to the right, and a lot of times it will get buried under your stitches here in the corner. So the first stitch is not actually this stitch. I have to pull this back and reveal the little stitch that's hiding. This is the first stitch, okay? So the pattern calls for us to skip a stitch, then do a puff stitch, skip a stitch, puff stitch, skip a stitch, puff stitch, and so on. And it looks like we're going to have a total of 4 puff stitches. So I want to make sure I get this count right. So let's see, this would be a puff, skip, 2, skip, 3, 4, skip. Okay, so skip this one. Now we need a chain for the one that we skipped. Now into this next stitch here, we're going to do a puff stitch. So I yarn over, go down into the stitch, pull up a loop. Now I'm not going to finish this stitch. I'm going to just hold it, and I'm going to do that a total of 3 times. So we yarn over again, go down into our work, grab up a loop, pull it up, and I kind of pull it up tall, otherwise mine kind of slide down in. Now again, I yarn over and go back down into that stitch, grab up a loop. Now I have all 3. Now I'm going to yarn over. You can see I've got this stitch over here that was from the first stitch that I had. I'm not going to go under that one. I'm going to yarn over and go through all of them except for that last one. Now I'm going to yarn over and go through both of those. So that helps to suspend your little puff stitch, and it helps to kind of cinch it up and make it more uniform. Okay, sorry, I just missed a comment. Do you always skip the stitch and slip into the corner? Yeah, I like I said, I kind of do my stuff weird. I'll show you again. It'll be a little easier to see how I do my corners on this next round because it's bigger, it's taller. That last round with all of the back posts, it was a little hard to see, but this next round I'll show you how I do my corners. So I'm going to skip one. And I'm going to do a chain. So this one that gets skipped gets a chain above it. Now it says I'm going to do another puff stitch into the next. So I yarn over, go down into that stitch, grab up a loop, and I kind of, like I said, pull it up tall. Otherwise mine kind of tend to slide back down in there. Then I yarn over, go back down in again, grab up another one. Again, I'm just holding these, and I'm going to do it a total of 3 times. So now that we have all 3, I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of them except for this very last one. Then I yarn over and pull through those last 2. So again, that's what kind of makes it pop out here at the top. Now we're going to skip this stitch, so we need a chain at the top here. Skip that one, go into the next one. Now we're going to do another puff stitch. So yarn over, pull it up tall, hold it, yarn over, go back down into that exact same stitch, pull up a loop, pull it up tall, yarn over. This is our 3rd time. Okay, now we have all 3. Again, we're not going to go under this one, so yarn over and pull through all of them except for the very last. Now we have 2, yarn over, pull through both of those. So now you can see we've got 3 puff stitches. So now again, I need to skip this stitch, which means we need a chain above it. Skip that one. Now we're going to do another puff stitch into this space here. Pull it up tall. Here's number 2 and number 3. Okay, so once we have all 3, again, we're going to yarn over, pull through all of them except for the very last one. Now we have 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have another stitch here. We need to skip that one, so we're going to do a chain. That accounts for that stitch. Now we're back to the corner. The corners are 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, so now we finished. Oops, bumped the camera. Sorry, YouTubers. We've got 6 people watching over on YT. Good morning, everybody. Good morning on both platforms. Welcome, welcome. So we finished the corner. So you can kind of see how those puff stitches are shaping up. And aren't they cool? Don't they just give a great texture? That's the one thing that I love about this blanket. So for those that are just joining, this pattern is called The Study of Snow, and it's by Yarspirations. It's Mikey Selleck's pattern, for those that know Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. And I just love this pattern. Like I said, I've made it before. It was really fun. I did it with a lot of different colored yarns last time, and it was blues and greens, so you can mix it up. For me, I've had the last couple weeks, you all know, I've been very busy with my projects for the fair and stuff. And so I just needed something a little more simple that I could just kick back and not control the color and just kind of, you know, use this yarn. It's a Red Heart Super Saver, and I'm not going to change the colors. I'm going to do the whole blanket like this and just let it flow and just sit back and relax and enjoy the textures. So it has really fun little color flecks in it. If you guys can see that, it's got like browns and grays and black, but it's just a nice neutral color. And I'm really hoping that it just shows off the texture of the pattern itself. So again, I have to kind of slide this corner work that I've done to reveal the first stitch. So we have to skip the first stitch, and we do a chain. Into the next stitch is where we're going to do our puff stitch. So to do the puff stitch, for those that are just learning, we're going to yarn over, go down into that stitch, grab a loop and pull it up. And I like to pull it up kind of tall. It tends to kind of slide back down on me. Now I'm not going to finish that. I'm just going to hold that stitch and not do anything else. Now I'm going to yarn over, go back down into that. Here's number 2, and we have to do this 3 times. Yarn over, go back down in, grab that loop up. Now we have all of them. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to pull through all of them except for that very last stitch. I'm going to leave those 2 behind. Then I yarn over and pull through both of those. So when you do that, you can see it really helps to finish that stitch. The puff stitch is intended to be kind of full, and it's a chubby little stitch. It's cute, and it really adds great texture and definition to your project. So now the pattern calls for us to skip the next stitch, and we're going to do a puff stitch into the next. In order to do that, I need to do a chain. So this chain lines up with the one that I skipped. Now I'm going to do the puff stitch. If you forget that chain, the sides of your, excuse me, I'm sorry. The sides of your blanket will get scrunched up and it won't lay flat, okay? So you definitely need to remember to do those little chains. So now we have 3. Again, I'm going to yarn over, pull through all of them, except for the last one, and then I come back and get that one after. Okay, so now let's do it one more time. Hey, good morning, Amanda. Let's see, Collar Gal, this yarn made a beautiful fisherman sweater. Brother loves it. Yeah, for sure. I think it's just a nice, it's very subtle, you know, and sometimes you guys know I do a lot of fun baby blankets and colors and flowers, and so this is nice to have something that's just a little more relaxed. Okay, so I need to skip this next stitch, which means I need a chain here at the top, and now I'm going to do another puff stitch into the next stitch here. And now I'm just going to hold that, yarn over, go back down in, grab up a loop and pull it up, yarn over, go back down in. This is number 3, pull up a loop. Now we have all of them, yarn over, pull through all of them except for the very last one. Then when you have 2, yarn over and pull through those last 2. Now again, we need to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and here we are with another puff stitch. Grab up a loop, again hold it, yarn over, go back down in, grab a loop, hold it. Here's number 3. Yarn over, go through all of them except for the last one, and we have 2 stitches left. Yarn over, pull through both of those. Now here's another stitch we need to skip, so we're going to chain 1, and now we're ready for the corner. The corner, we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Guys, if you're new to my channel, on days that I'm working on patterns like this, where there's a lot of texture and I'm trying to explain stitches, I might miss some comments. I shouldn't say might. I'm positive I will miss some comments. Please, please don't take it personal like I'm trying to overlook you. Some of the other folks who are familiar with me will certainly try to answer questions. Whenever I come live, everything is on my link tree. So if you need to get to the link tree, you click here in the corner, the little dog. I'm on talking on TikTok now for the YT crowd. A bar will fly up the bottom. Click on the dog again. That'll take you to my profile. You'll see a little bio about me being from Alabama. Underneath that, you'll see HTTPS link tree. If you click on that, the yarn is there, the written pattern, the YouTube tutorial that Mikey did. Everything is right there for your use. Now, if you're watching me on YT this morning, the link tree is also in my bio on my page of YT, so you can get that there as well. Okay, so we're ready to start our next side here. And again, we have to skip the first stitch. So remember, a lot of times if you get your counts off, it'll be because you go here instead of pulling back your corner to reveal the one that's hidden. So we're going to skip that one. Now, again, I need a chain because we're skipping that one. So that chain lines up with the one we missed. Now, into here, we're going to do a puff stitch, okay? And so I'm going to yarn over, go down into my stitch, grab up a loop. I pull it up kind of tall, and I'm just going to hold that. Now I'm going to yarn over, go back down in again, grab up a loop, and again hold it. And now here's number 3, yarn over, go down in, grab up a loop. Now when you have all of those, this is the very first one. I'm going to miss that one. I'm not going to go through that one, but I yarn over and go through all of them except for the very first. Now we have 2 stitches on our hook, yarn over and go through both of them. That's what helps to suspend this stitch kind of in mid-air, and it gives it a nice little finish, and it helps to make it so it's puffy. This is called a puff stitch, so you want it to have that marvelous texture. Now again, we need to skip this stitch, which tells us we need a chain up above, and now into the next one we're going to do another puff stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop. Here's number 2. Grab up a loop, pull it up tall, yarn over, back down into our work, grab up a loop, and again pull it up tall. Now we've done 3. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of them except for the very last one. Now we have 2, yarn over, pull through both. There's our second little puff stitch. Now again, we're going to skip this one, so we need a chain up at top. The chain lines up with that one. Now here we are moving to the next with a puff stitch. So I yarn over, go down into that, grab a loop, pull it up tall. Here's number 2. Our puff stitch are always going to have these 3, and you guys will see me do a lot of puff stitches in my baby blankets and stuff. This is a stitch that I do use quite frequently. Yarn over and I pull through all of them except for the last one. Then I yarn over and pull through those last 2. Now again, we need to skip this one. We put a chain, and here's our 4th puff stitch. So this will be the last puff stitch of this side. This pattern that I'm doing today is by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. So if you guys want to go on the link tree, you can find the links and save this on the YouTube on your favorites, and then you can watch it later, or the pattern itself. So again, here I need to skip this one, so I have a chain up at the top. Now I'm back to the corner, so the corner I need 2 double crochets. Now I chain 2 and then 2 double crochets. Thank you for all the follows, guys, this morning. I appreciate all the new followers that are joining us. My name is April. I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings from 7:30 to 9 Central Time. This morning I'm live on both TikTok and YT. My channels are Wheeler 8 Acres. So anyhow, I always try to explain the stitches. I'm no expert crocheter, guys. I am just a hobby crocheter. I have a full-time job. I work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I work remote in Arizona. I live in Alabama. But I love to crochet, and I started coming on live in July, and we have a fabulous little community here. And so I encourage you, if you're watching me on the live feed and maybe you haven't given a follow, please, I'm almost to 8,000. I really would love to get to 10,000 followers so I can help better organize my content. I want to be able to put it into little categories. And TikTok, restricts us from doing that until we get enough followers. So, but welcome to all the new followers. I work on a different project every day when I come on live. Now, some weeks I will have, the same projects, because obviously I'm not going to finish this blanket today. This is going to be a big blanket. So, you know, if you can't watch today, uh, don't worry. I'll be on doing it again at some point in the future here, and you know, we can kind of work together. So I enjoy explaining how I do stitches. Um, I think the reason why is because for years and years and years, all I did was granny squares, and there's nothing wrong with that. But only in the last like 4 years have I really branched out and started doing more intricate patterns. And the way that I learned is by watching other content creators and watching tutorials on all the various platforms. And um, this is my way to give back, I guess. If I can come on here and inspire somebody, maybe you see this yarn and you're like, that's cool yarn, I want to do it. Maybe you see this pattern and you say, man, I want to make that blanket. Or maybe you have been intimidated by the puff stitch, right? And I show you how to do the puff stitch, and all of a sudden something clicks and it makes sense, and you're off and making puff stitches. That is why I choose to come on live. And I love all my friends here on the live. You guys are great supporters, and we also have a Discord. For those that are not familiar with Discord, Discord is our crochet chat server. And so I welcome you to join that. We have lots of crochet chat, and you can share your patterns and everything that you're working on, and just, you know, talk to other crafters and stuff. So you can get to the Discord on the link tree as well. And we've started that a couple weeks, but I think Macy moderates the Discord for us. Macy's on here this morning, and she can tell us where we're at. But I think yesterday we were up to like 60 some folks on the Discord, so it's a lot of fun. Okay, yeah, Pam says she can hear my rooster, and so I do have a small flock of laying hens, and I do have a rooster. His name is Stud Muffin, and he likes to make his presence known here in the morning. So he's telling y'all to wake up. Anyhow, let me, Mama Carrie, I will explain how I have my camera set up here. Let me show you how I finish my corners here, okay? So I finished the last stitch here. It was a chain. And here are the first two stitches that I had. The way that I finish my corners is I go under the stitch here and I pull up a loop. And I don't do a single crochet, I just do a slip stitch. So I pull that through, and it stays very flat. And now I do another one into the corner. And again, I don't, yarn over. I don't do that. I just pull it straight through. That is a slip stitch, but what that does is it keeps the corner very flat, and it doesn't really mess up the back at all. You can't tell. So it's just a very nice way to get to your corner. So anyhow, that is how I do my little corners for those that were asking. So we're gonna have to go back to the pattern now. I will answer how I have the camera set up in just a moment. Let's see. Nikki said she started watching because of the yarn she saw. Yeah, this is a really kind of cool yarn, guys. I saw this one day. I think I was at Joann's and I picked it up, and I've had it in my yarn room for, gosh, probably a year or more. And there's video in my yarn room. I am a yarn. I have a yarn problem, let's just say that. So I'll see something like this, and I will have it and I've had this plan for this yarn, for this blanket for over a year. It's been in my brain. But this yarn is called Aran Fleck, and it's just got these fun little like textures in it, if you guys can see that on screen. And it's a nice subtle yarn, but this blanket that we're doing, this is called the Study of Snow. And here is what it looks like. Now, Mikey did it in this picture with the Bernat blanket. And so it was a very puffy, fluffy yarn that he used. I'm, of course, using the Red Heart Super Saver. You could use either one, but this is what it is. It's a pattern by Yarspirations. It's a free pattern. There's links on my link tree if you want to download the written pattern, or there's a link to the YT as well. And this pattern is considered intermediate. But like I said, I'm breaking down these stitches. It's not insurmountable, okay? It's saying commercial marketing. I already turned this on. Guys, I'm gonna have to hop off and come right back on. It's giving me a flag for commercial, even though I have it turned on. It's saying that I don't know. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to hop on and come right back. So be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. With TikTok, it says to turn on the commercial, and I turn it on, and I say that I'm promoting my own brand, and then it doesn't work sometimes, and then it won't let you edit it in the thing. So it's better that I just get off and address it. But sorry, I had to hop off and hop back on. So anyhow, today, for those that are hopping on, good morning, welcome back. If you were here before, sorry I had to disconnect. We are working on the Study a Snow blanket. Now, we just finished, if we look at our little pattern here, we just finished this fun row of puff stitches. And that was round 5 right here we just did. So now if we look at the other row here, for round 6, you can see when they have these little hatch marks, those are a double crochet. So this is a very easy round, and what it tells us is we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and we're just going to work that, and then a double crochet in the top of each one. So this will give everybody an opportunity to hop back on. Again, sorry with the TikTok crowd that we had to disconnect. But we're going to start with a chain of 3. Now that chain of 3 is counting as my first double crochet. Now I'm going to do into the corner again with another double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we need another double crochet right into that same corner. Pull out some yarn here. Okay, and is the person back on who is asking about my camera setup? I will explain that. When you're looking at your stitches, this is the first stitch out. The top of this stitch, sometimes you have to pull this corner back to reveal that stitch. We're going to put a double crochet right into the top of each one of these stitches. And this round is a double crochet the entire way around. So while I'm doing these double crochets. Now, one thing, as you're doing these, you can see the row below we had this puff stitch, and we're going to do the double crochet not in the top, but actually in this space right here. So I yarn over, go down in the space, pull up my loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my next double crochet in the top of that puff stitch. And now that we're back here to in between the puffs, we're going to do again the double crochet right in between. So that will help to kind of set these apart if you do that placement. And I'm just going to repeat that the whole way around. So the way that I have my camera placement, for those that are curious, I am live streaming this morning both on YT and on TikTok. And this camera that I have for TikTok is my iPhone that I'm using. I have an iPhone 14. I have a clamp that clamps to the back of my couch. I'm sitting in my recliner, and the camera is facing on, it's basically sitting at my shoulder level. My face is kind of right here. So the camera is looking at it, my crochet, as I look at it. And so you guys are seeing basically what I see. And that allows me to help explain the stitches and everything as I go along, and you can see what it is I'm doing. The other camera I have is directly in front of it, and it's set up horizontal. And that camera is my old iPhone 13, and I'm live streaming that on YT. Then over to my right, I am using my tablet. So if I pan out here, you can kind of see, there's my iPhone. If I go over this way, there's my tablet. The tablet I'm watching from my moderator account. Now on my TV in front of me, there is my YT live stream up there. So basically I'm monitoring it, and that's why sometimes, guys, it's hard for me to keep up with all the comments and everything, because it's a lot of multitasking. But going live is so much fun. I don't mind sharing with other people how I'm doing it, because it did take me a minute to get it all figured out. And so anyhow, I have a moderator account. And if you're not following the moderator account, guys, I would love it if you would follow it. I'm trying to get to, I don't know if it's 500 or 1,000 anymore. I want to have a backup account in case something happens to this one. So I just put some yarn balls in the chat. If you guys could follow the moderator account, I would be so, so grateful. And this is a great opportunity too. Now, guys, I'm just working on a double crochet on this round, so it gives me an opportunity to kind of talk to y'all about what's going on. But we are very supportive of not just me, but of everybody here in our group. And if you're looking for followers, like if you want to go live and you want to be a part of, other people's, feel free to spam the chat with yarn balls over here on TikTok. And you guys pick each other up and follow each other, and you could support each other as well on the channel. And I have no problem with that. Like I said, I come on here and crochet every morning. I would be nothing if all of you weren't sitting here watching me and interacting and talking, not just with me, but with each other, I know we had a lot of screen taps. Now I had to restart the live, but you guys are, you're such a part of this. You guys take the time to like the live and share it, and have comments and everything. And I'm really appreciative of that. So feel free to support each other on this community. I'm all for it. So there's plenty of space. I am not threatened by, somebody else coming on TikTok live and crocheting. And, to me, that stuff, I'm not petty like that. If you want to come live and do what I'm doing, absolutely go for it. There is plenty of room for all of us. And we can all share in the things that we do. My style will be different than your style. And the other content creators that I watch, their style is different than mine. And that's why I say there's plenty of room for all of us. So you go right ahead. I'm down. And don't forget to join our Discord as well, guys. Macy does a great job a great job over there on the Discord. So if you want to join the Discord chat server for the crochet, you can get to that on the link tree. And the pattern that I'm working on today, everything is linked right on the link tree. So anyhow, feel free to check those out. And like I said, today I'm working on the study of snow. And so anyhow, somebody said Let's see. Texas Whiskey says she goes live after April most of the time. Yeah, that's great. Sometimes I see, let's see, the option to pin comments has disappeared for me. People must have complained a lot. Huh, interesting. Mommy said, this is my second morning seeing you. I'm up this early nursing my newborn, but love your lives. Oh, newborn, congratulations, and thank you for being here. How exciting. Let's see, Mean Billy, I just have to tell you, April, you are the best to watch for crocheting. You explain everything. Oh, thank you so much. I just try to explain how I think, and I'm an odd duck. I'll fully admit it, but I embrace it as well. But I try to explain how I do stuff so that it makes sense, not just to me, but to all of you guys as well. So anyhow, let's talk a little bit about what I'm doing here. I've just been working on some double crochets. The row below, you can see we had 4 puff stitches. And what we're doing is we're placing a double crochet in the top of the puff stitch. And then what I'm doing is I'm placing a double crochet right in between. So I'm just putting my hook in that space, grabbing up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So just a very simple double crochet, but that will help to kind of provide some definition between those stitches, because that's the fun thing about this pattern. We want these textures to really pop. So now again, here's a puff stitch. I'm going to put a double crochet into the top. Now here we are back in between. We need another double crochet right in between those 2. Here's the one on top, you can see it. Another double crochet, and we're just going to keep working this, alternating them back and forth. Now here we are coming up on the corner. You can see I have 2 stitches, so that means we need 2 double crochets, 1 in each of these stitches, and then we will be ready to do the corner. Why do you chain 3 instead of just making a double? So when you start out right here, it is, if you just pull it up, it kind of makes it look a little wonky to me. So I do a chain of 3. We can try it on the next round and see how it works. Now the next round is a half double crochet in the corner, but like right now I'm not doing a chain of 3. I'm going to do a double crochet. The corner is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. But when you're first starting out on a corner, so on this little example that we have here, I made this just to take a picture of it, but let me get some more yarn out of this. I didn't pull from the center because I have to get some yarn. So when you're starting out on a corner, to answer your question, you can see here, this is where I finished. So, and sometimes what I'll do is pull this out tall and then yarn over and go down in and pull this through and pull this through. But when you do that, see how this edge here is really stretched out? So I don't like the look of that. So one thing you can do, and some people will do this, you pull it up tall. Now, guys, I might screw this up because I'm not very good at it. But you have to wrap your yarn like this, I think, and then go down in or something, and then I don't know, I can't do it. There's a way you can make a different one. I'll have to learn it. I've tried many times and I can't do it. But the other way is just to chain 3. So this chain 3 counts as your double crochet because you have to get it up tall enough to be able to start that stitch. But there's a way to do it. I gotta think how you do this here. I think you yarn over and then wrap around and then go down in. No, that doesn't seem right either. I don't know. See, I'm not good at it. I don't know. There's a video out there of the cool way to do it. I'm not a cool kid. I'm not that cool. Probably somebody on here knows how to do it, and they can tell us what it's called, because I don't know. Let's see. Mama Wheeler is my mom, for those that don't know. Hannah said, TikTok has been super glitchy for me. Okay, so yeah, TikTok has been, the last couple days has been like this whole week. I don't know if they're doing like a programming update or what they're doing, but it's like super sketch. 2 days the puzzle didn't work and I had to stop my live and then come back on. Today I had already turned on content disclosure and it still gave me a flag, and then it wouldn't let me edit it, even though normally it lets you edit it if you forget. But I definitely turned it on because the button was toggled, and it's just been like, I don't know, it's really frustrating. It's, you know, if I was just coming on here and like chatting with you all, it would be one thing, but I'm trying to like explain stitches and stuff. So then when I have the platform that's not functioning, it just adds that other layer of frustration that makes it very challenging and honestly like annoying. So I'm glad it's not just me that it's happening to, because it's really frustrating. Yeah, Rachel, it's a standing double crochet. So I can make a standing double crochet when I tie on a new yarn, but I can't make it when I already have the yarn attached. So see how I did a chain of 3? That's what we're talking about. But it's there's a way you can make this look like a double crochet, and I just don't know how to do it. I'm not that cool. So here we are, we're back working on our double crochets. I'm going to talk through this because we're on the very last bit here. But in between these 2 stitches, I'm going to put the double crochet rather than put it on the top. If you go in between with your double crochet, it'll help to kind of provide some stitch definition. Now here is the puff stitch from the round below. Again, we're going to put the double crochet right into the top. Now here we go right in between again. The one who has a great tutorial about how to make that stitch is Moogly. Do you guys know Moogly? I think her name's Tamara. Tamara does a great demonstration of how to make this not a chain of 3, but how to make it look like a standing double crochet. Check out her video on how to do the that stitch, because she does it really good. And I just have not wrapped my head around it, how to do it. So maybe someday I'll get there, because I don't like the chain of 3. I think it looks kind of dumb, but until I figure out something else, I have to you know, keep doing the chain of 3. But I will try to do and it doesn't look horrible. Here's a chain of 3. You know, it's not going to be super bad if you do a chain of 3. I mean, for years and years and years, all of us have done a chain of 3, but it does look pretty cool when you can do the standing double crochet, I think. So like I said, if I'm tying on new yarn, I can do it that way. I just haven't figured out how to do it when I already have the yarn. I don't want to change it. Okay, so here we are back. Here's our corner. So now I'm going to slip stitch. So instead of like yarning over and pulling through, I just pull it straight through. That is a slip stitch. That helps keep it flat, and it just allows you to move your work, move your hook from here to here. We want to work into this corner. So then I yarn over and pull through. So now we're back in the corner. Okay, let me pull this up a little bit so we don't lose it. We can kind of see where we're at here with our square. What do you think? It's looking pretty cool, right? Lots of fun texture. Can you start to see how it would look like with colors though? So like envision, you know, maybe if you're doing purples, right? You could do this, all these puff stitches like in a purple shade. Maybe the center is, you know, an off-white. Maybe if you want like a, you know, I don't know, all different colors, right? You could do it so many fun different ways. So anyhow, I think there's lots of possibilities there. Let's see. Okay, so again, the pattern we're working on today is the Study of Snow. And I just finished round 7, which was all of these double, oh, excuse me, I just did round 6. Round 6 is the double crochet. Now, guys, if you ever lose track, like how I just lost track, you can count these rows. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you could always count those as well. But let's go back to our diagram here. Now, guys, there's the full written of this on my link tree. I can read diagrams, so that's how I think. Okay, so we're on to round 7, and if we look at this stitch, you can kind of see down here at the bottom, see how it's got this little loop-de-loo at the bottom? If we go over to our legend, you can see here's the stitches that have the little loop-de-loos, okay? Now, this one, it has a little hatch mark on it. So that tells you the hatch mark is a back post a back post double crochet. If it doesn't have the hatch mark, that's a half double crochet. So this tells us we're going to have a half double crochet in the corner, chain 2, half double crochet into the top of each of these stitches. Well, we're going to do it around the post. We're going to put a back post double crochet. Okay, so here we go into the corner. And for these half double crochets, I kind of pull it up a little bit, yarn over, go down into my stitch, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all 3. So there's our half double. Now I'm going to chain 2, and now into the corner again, we need another half double. Okay, so now when you work a double crochet, you normally work it into the top of these stitches. You would put your hook underneath these bars, and that's the top of your crochet stitch. When you do a back post double crochet, what it means, first of all, you can do it either from the front or the back. This pattern calls for it from the back. If you were doing it from the front, you would work it this side. And so, but instead of going in the top, we're going to go around this post. And it is a double crochet. So just like you do a double crochet, you yarn over. Now I put my thumb here and I kind of hold this yarn from sliding around. I put my work forward, and instead of going in the top of the stitches, I put my hook underneath the post of that stitch. You'll also hear that referred to as the legs of the stitch, but you put that underneath. Then you grab a loop and pull it up. So again, we have 3 loops on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So what that does, you can see it kind of here. If I was working with a different color, it would be a lot more obvious. But in this case, because of the color, I have not changed it. It is kind of monochrome, I guess. But again, we're going to do another back post double crochet into the next stitch. So instead of the top, we're going to want to go around this post. So I yarn over, put my work forward, put my hook underneath the post, so it's literally sitting on top. Yarn over, grab up a loop. Now we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So again, there is our back post double crochet. Yarn over, put my work forward, and I'm just going to keep repeating this the whole way down. And when you're first learning, you can go slow, but as you get more experience, you'll be able to do these faster. The reason why we do these back post instead of going in the top, or you could do front post, they add an amazing texture to a pattern. And when you're using different colors, I'm going to reach over in the nest beside me, and I'm going to get out the Ring of Madness, as you guys know that I call it. And I'll show you guys some examples of this, why this is a really cool stitch. But you can see it really starting to take shape here as I'm working along. So see how it's putting this little ridge here? It is a really fun way to add texture and dimension to a project. So you can kind of see here is a ridge that we did by doing a back post half double. Now we're doing a double when it really gives it that cool look. So if we go over to the Ring of Madness, for those that don't know, the Ring of Madness is my brainstorm ring. And when I have different ideas, I put them on the Ring of Madness, or if I'm just playing around with squares or something. So here is an example where you can really see the texture come to life when you do these back post back post double crochet. So the row below here, the white, I had a row of double crochets. Then I came behind with this stitch that we're doing right now in this hot pink. It might look a little red on screen, but it's a beautiful hot pink. And that is what made this row of white pop forward. And here you can see how those stitches are wrapping around the post. Okay, let's look and see if we have some more examples here. Here's another one. This is going to be like a fireworks square. So again, I wanted these cool ridges to kind of pop and be like a firework. And so anyhow, you can kind of see though how those ridges of texture really come into play if you start using different colors. Here it is in black and gray. So again, I did the gray first, and then I came behind with the black, and that's what made those two lines really pop out. Oh, and I have something else for the Ring of Madness I was going to show you guys. I was playing around with this weekend, a slight intermission. What about a beaded hexagon granny square? I'm kind of digging it. I don't know. I want to make a market bag with it and do different colors. But anyhow, this is for the Ring of Madness. We'll pop this on here while we've got it out, because I've been meaning to put this away. So anyhow, those are some examples of if you start mixing the colors with this pattern, how it can look just so cool. So I hope that helps to kind of, can I turn that over? Which one? Sorry, the beaded one. Here's the back. Here's the front. Let's see. The colors come through much more accurate on YT. Get your hook out, the beaded one. Oh no, I leave my hooks in there, Randa and Zoe. That's how I know what I am doing. I have lots of hooks. I'm the weird creature that keeps them in the project themselves, so I'm cool with that. It's one of those weird things. Okay, so let's continue on now with our back post double crochets. But you can see it here, right? See how that ridge is forming? So as you're thinking about this pattern, if you start to think about like, maybe this row was, you know, a beautiful green, and then you back it with a white, that green is going to pop, right? That white is going to help drive those colors. So those are things that I think about as I'm making a pattern. Now, for this, I'm just doing it all the same yarn, and there's nothing wrong with that as well. Can you show us how the Ring of Madness is connected? The Ring of Madness, it uses, I use these things. They're like, what are they like for in embroidery, or not embroidery, but maybe like knitting? I don't know. If I'm doing granny squares, like I put them all my granny squares on them. They have them in different sizes. There's link on my link tree, but I don't remember what they're called. But I have a bunch of them. I get them off Amazon. And so like if I'm making a granny square project, I will have them all on those rings. It helps me to keep them organized. Susan says stitch holders. Yeah, stitch holders. So I just slide my granny squares right on them. It's really a cool thing. Okay, so back to the back post double crochets. So I yarn over, then I put my work forward, go down underneath that stitch, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. And I just am going to keep repeating that the entire way down. When I was first learning to do these back post double crochets, this is exactly how I practiced. So I made a starting chain really big, and then I put double crochets in it. Then what I did is I practiced doing back post double crochets on those, and then I would rip it all out, and then I would do it again. And that is how I learned to do these without actually being on a project. I just practiced on scraps. And, you know, with crochet, a lot of it is just repetition, right? Learning how to do the stitches by, you know, repeating them over and over again until you get comfortable with them. So again, I yarn over, I put my work forward, and I hold my thumb right here, guys. It helps me to control this yarn from sliding around. I go underneath the post. So the post is literally sitting on top of my hook. Then I yarn over, pull through. Now there's 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So it is literally it is literally a double crochet. The only difference is instead of going in the top, we're wrapping it around the post, okay? And like I said, with practice, you'll get more comfortable with this and you'll be able to do it faster. But it really, when you master this stitch, you will start to see just some really cool results with projects that you're working on. It's really fun. I use it a lot. I enjoy the different textures. It's one of the things that I just really love, especially for baby blankets or just throw blankets, all of that. So anyhow, my shirt is sliding up. I have my long sleeve shirt on today because it was like 36 this morning, 39 here in Alabama. It was chilly, and the house was 63. I'm looking over there. It's up to 64 now. But you guys know I always have my little lap blanket on. That's how I crochet. I can't crochet without my blankie. And I had to. It's an electric blanket. It's an electric throw blanket. I had to turn that on this morning. It was chilly. My feet were cold. Okay, so after you finish the last back post double crochet, then we're over to the corner again. And the corner we do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now we turn our work, and again we're going to be doing the back post double crochets the whole way down. So yarn over, again go back underneath, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Let's see, Patty and Kristen said it wasn't much warmer up in upstate New York. Yeah, it's a nice little cold snap we've got going through. I had to bring in my pineapple plants last night. I brought in my pineapple plants. I brought in my aloe vera. Mama Wheeler brought me aloe vera plants from Arizona. They were my grandpa's aloe vera plants, so I'm super excited. I don't want them to get frost. They'll live inside here through the winter along with my pineapple plants. My pineapple plants I grew from a stem. And so anyhow, I've yet to get any fruit on my pineapple plants. One of them's pretty big. I think I need to repot it. I've had it for 2 years now. So maybe next year it'll put on a fruit. I don't know. I might give up on my pineapple plants, but I certainly am trying. And I've still got cherry tomatoes on the plants as well. So I covered those up with a blanket last night, and hopefully they'll make it through, because I'm sure it's going to warm back up. I have a feeling this is just a cold snap, but I saw Ryan Hall put out a video, and I didn't have time to watch it. I've been busy. Between making content videos and trying to figure out how to go live on YT and figuring out what patterns I'm going to do this week. Plus, work has been insanely busy for me this week. Yesterday was super stressful. I felt like yesterday at work, everything that could go wrong went wrong. So I'm really hoping that today is a better day, because yesterday was really rough on me. And so I haven't watched Ryan Hall, y'all, my favorite weatherman, to see what's happening. All I know is it's cold. All I know is it's really pretty chilly here. Even the dog is all snuggled up over here. He's got his blankie. He doesn't go under his blankie. When he was a puppy, he used to, but now he just is a loafer with his blankie. He just lays on it or beside it. If it's something you're interested in, April, something like Streamlabs may help. What is Streamlabs? Is that something that helps me like go live on multiple platforms? I don't know if I'm that talented. Look how cool that looks, guys. Can you see how cool that looks? I'm loving it. Anvil said, my grandson has bacterial pneumonia this week. Oh, no. Let's see. Yes, that's what it is. You're going professional, April. I'll have to check that out, because maybe if it's an app, then I would only have to use one device. The challenge is on YT, I want to go horizontal. Um, and on TikTok, I like going portrait, which, so anyhow, we'll see. No, Gen X, my pineapple has not started to bloom. I did see it could take up to, why are they not staying? The pinned comments sure aren't staying for very long. Is it me, or what is up, TikTok? What is up? uh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, guys. Thank you. You all are so knowledgeable. Where would I be without you guys? Okay, so here's our corner: 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. I just want to come on here and crochet, but man, sometimes it's really technical, all the hard things to learn. Everybody's been so helpful. Anvil said, yeah, the pinned comments are dysfunctional today. I agree. There's something not working right. So I think when yeah, they stay for a minute. Oh yeah, it says 30 seconds. It seems like normally they stay longer than that. Anyhow, don't you think it's when they're doing upgrades to the system that it gets all glitchy like that? I think it is. I don't know. Like I said, I'm new to going live. I've only been going live on TikTok for a couple months, so I'm not an expert by any means. A lot of people here are way more knowledgeable than I am, and I haven't been on TikTok that long. Maybe a year. My friend told me I had to get on here, and I hemmed and hawed for a long time. Like, how many platforms can one person be on? But everybody has their thing that they like. And so I don't know that I'll ever live stream on Book of Faces, though. I don't know. I am so anti Book of Faces right now, because my whole feed is full of advertisements, and I don't like that. It's super annoying to me. Super annoying to me. And IG is pretty much just as bad. But I don't know. My Mama Wheeler said she got rid of a lot of her ads. I've yet to be able to get rid of mine. I try to get rid of them, and it just really it really is frustrating. So and then it's so funny. FB Book of Faces, they crack me up, because I won't go on there for days on end. Because I just don't want to read all the commercials and ads of junk that's irrelevant to me. I just feel like it's a platform for selling product and stuff. And you can tell they're mad, because then they start sending you all these emails. I mean, I know it's the algorithm. I know it's not a person that's sending me all this stuff, but it's like, have you seen this? Did you see this? Your friend posted this. Like, you need to pay attention to me. And I'm like, delete. So annoying. I'm glad TikTok doesn't do that to me. Now TikTok sends me a lot of stuff, and I am starting to get a ton of messages on TikTok, from like people saying like, we wanna promote you or whatever. And then a lot of people, they'll message me. I was telling Mama Wheeler this. They'll message me and say, when do you go on live? But like, if you guys follow me, I say like 10 times every single live that I go on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Like, I'm a broken record. And so when somebody asks or like messages me like a fishy message on TikTok, and they're like, when do you go live? We'd like to promote you. I'm like, okay, thank you for the spam. So funny. Let's see. I had someone ask me to make them something, but I don't trust it. Yeah. Well, I don't do commissions. I just like to crochet what I want to crochet. And sometimes if I don't, I may work on this project today, and I may put it aside for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. There's nothing that tells me I have to work on something. I work on something because I want to, it's my hobby. And if I was to try to start making stuff for people, I feel like it would become a job. And I know a lot of people are very successful at that, and they really enjoy it, and they like doing commissions and doing projects. And I'm like, my hat's off to you, because that's not something that I personally want to do. But I mean, I'm not you know, it's what I do is not necessarily what everybody else needs to do. I just, I don't want anybody like down my throat, like trying to tell me when I need to be crocheting and stuff. So I do think it's cool, you know, like all the plushies and everything, but I don't know. I just, it's not for me. So I have my job, and I don't want crochet to be my job. I want crochet to be my hobby that I love, that I like coming on here and chatting with you all and showing you stitches and, you know, just chilling. I was up early this morning. I was working on my, oh, I finished my bucket hat. Wait, I got to show you all. I know I kind of showed it yesterday. I haven't snipped off. I finished it this morning. Wait, pause for the bucket hat. So we worked on the bucket hat on Monday on the live. And anyhow, you can see I got my ruffles all finished. Isn't it pretty? Right? Like, I love it. It's so cute. So the way that I had to do this, you know, guys, I was using Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. And the skein was not big enough. And so anyhow, I ended up coming back. I had to rip out my whole ruffle that I did on the live. And then my first round of the ruffle, you can see it here, where I did 3 in each stitch. I came back with the gray. And so I did the first whole row in the gray. Then on my second row, which you can see here, I did again 3 double crochets into each stitch. Then when I did the final round, again, I was afraid I was going to run out of yarn. So if you guys can see here, I did a group of 3 in 1, and then I did 2 in 1, and then 3 in 1. And this is the result of how it turned out. So anyhow, I think it's really pretty. I think to me, it looks wintry. It feels like snowy, icy, but I could see where it would feel like kind of like beachy water too, and stuff. I think it turned out cute. So I'm excited to finish my hat this morning, and Mama Wheeler was working on her hat this morning too, which is kind of cool. She's working on her final round of her hat. So pretty exciting. Anyhow, I might make another hat, because I really enjoyed making the hat, guys. I thought it was a very fun and relaxing project. This camera cord is in my Kool-Aid this morning. Okay, I'm almost done with this round, guys. So let me focus on the task at hand here and get this wrapped up so we can move on to the next round. How am I doing on time? Oh, it's only 9 o'clock. We got plenty of time. Macy, so the way that I wanted to do the ruffle was 3 double crochets into each stitch. But I didn't have enough yarn. And so what they call it is 3 rounds of 3. So basically, the first round you put 3 double crochets in each stitch. The next round you put 3 double crochets into each stitch. And then the final round you put 3 double crochets into each stitch. And so it just keeps growing the ruffle. Okay, so I'm here to the corner, but there's links on the link tree for the ruffle hat if you want to make the ruffle hat. So, okay, we just finished this round. I joined with a slip stitch into the corner. So let's go back and look at our pattern. Somebody said, what are we making here? So I'm going to go over all of that real quick while we're looking at the pattern. So this pattern is the Study of Snow. It's a pattern by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. This is what it looks like. He did it with Bernat Blanket. It's considered an intermediate pattern. There's a link on the link tree for the written pattern and also the YT. Okay, so we just finished this round right here, round 7, which was these back post double crochets. So if we move to round 8, you can see here we're going to do some fun crossed stitches. And these are different than the cross stitches that I do for the baby blankets. And the reason why they're different is you can see in between this cross, there is a chain of 1. And most of the time on my cross stitches, that does not apply. Now the other thing on the cross stitches, if we look at the row below, see how this stitch right here is skipped? You can see that's different as well, because normally when I do the cross stitches, like for the baby blankets, there is no skip. But basically we have this skip, and this skip, you can see, correlates with the chain at the top, okay? So, and in the corners, you can see here, we're going to be doing a double crochet. So double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then we're going to do these cross stitches. And we should end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cross stitches if I haven't screwed up. So let's go ahead and work on this round. So for my very first stitch in the corner, I'm going to start with a chain of 3. That counts as a double crochet. Now I need in the corner a chain of 2. Okay, so that's kind of like that. Now into the corner I need another double crochet. Okay, so there's our corner. Now what we have to do on this is we're going to do a skip of the first stitch. Okay, so now when you're looking at your stitches, a lot of new crocheters will make this mistake. This right here looks like the first stitch, and I will tell you that it's not. So how you determine where your first stitch is, you can see here, this is the first stitch. This is the legs of the stitch. You follow this up, and to the right of this stitch, the legs, you will see the top of that stitch. So if you were to go into this one, that would be incorrect. It's always the stitch to the right. And that is the place where a lot of new crocheters make a mistake. So now for this pattern, we're going to skip the first stitch out. So that's this one. And we're going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1. Now what we have to do is we have to come back and pick up this stitch we missed. Now because this is in the corner, I'm going to just go into the corner itself. So I wrap my yarn around, and the way we do this is from the back. You could also do it from the front. I'm going to do it from the back. That's what's comfortable to me. So again, I hold my yarn here, I put my work forward, and then I go into the corner, pull up that loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So there is our crossed stitch. And you can see, here's the little chain in between. Okay, so let's do another one of these. So again, we need to skip this stitch here. Right, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Let's look at this placement. So this one is here. We're going to skip. For this one, you can see here, I'm working on, this is the first stitch I need to do. So I need to actually skip 2 stitches. Okay. So here's 1, here's 2, right? Gotta look at this, guys. Bear with me. So yeah, I'm going into the 3rd stitch. So 1, 2, and now we're going to reach all the way over here and go into the 3rd stitch with a double crochet. Now we need to chain 1. This chain 1 lines up with this over here. So we're going to wrap our yarn around. Now we have to come back and pick up that first stitch that we missed. So I put my work forward, go down underneath, grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that is how our cross stitch looks. So now again, we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, now into the 3rd with a double crochet. Now we need a chain. Now we're going to do another double crochet, not in the middle, the chain is for the middle. We're going back to the very first one that we missed. So yarn over, put our work forward, look for that stitch, go underneath, grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's our another across. Skip 2 into the third with a double crochet. Now we need a chain of 1. Now again, here's the first stitch, or the middle stitch. We're not going to do that one. We're going to look for this one right here. So I kind of put my hand here so I kind of get an indication when I put it forward what I'm looking for, right? Go underneath that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I should do a tutorial on this. Yeah, the cross stitch is, this cross stitch is, it's kind of complicated, right? I should probably do that. So again, here we go. We're going to skip 2. Now into the next one, we're going to go underneath, grab up a loop, and do a double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1. Now we're not going to do the middle. We're going to do the very first one that we skipped, and we're going to do a double crochet. So again, I wrap my yarn around, put my work forward, look for the top of that stitch, put my hook through, grab a loop and pull it up. We have 3 loops on our hook, just like a double crochet. That's what we're doing. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So it is just a double crochet. It's, again, like everything with crochet, it's a lot of it is just an illusion, right? We're trying to get this texture, and it's made by crossing stitches, repositioning stitches, you know, all of that. And so it's a really fun way to add definition to your blanket. So again, skip 2, now into the third, double crochet, chain 1, skip this one, and we're going to go back to the very first one that we did. Yarn over, put my work forward, put my hook underneath those loops, grab a loop and pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, skip 2, into the next one, double crochet, chain 1. Here's the one we missed, so we're going to go for this one. Yarn over, put our work forward, go underneath, grab a stitch, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's our crosses. Now, what was the amount that I said to begin with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We needed 7 cross stitches, and this is kind of hard to see. It's getting a little big. Let me go out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now I'm ready to go back into the corner. And the corner, you'll remember, we did a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So here we go in the corner. Double crochet, chain 2, and then a double crochet. Okay, so there's our corner. Now we're going to turn. And again, we need to, this, when you're doing this pattern, guys, really watch this first stitch out here. Because when we're doing the ones in the middle, we're skipping 2. But on this very first crossed stitch, you're only skipping 1, okay? So that might trip you up a little bit when you're first starting this pattern. So I'm going to skip this one. This one here is our first stitch. Into the second, I'm going to do a double crochet. Then I need to chain 1. Now again, this is the one we're going to skip. So this one, I'm going to do it into the corner. So wrap my yarn around, put my hook in the corner, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that cross stitch goes right up into the corner. So that's why it's a little different. Now we're going to skip 2. Now into the third, we're going to again do a double crochet. Chain 1. Here's the middle stitch. And you see, I messed that up. I did not do that right. See how this stitch is in this? I should have my own stitch. I have to pull this out. So I counted this as a stitch. That's incorrect. 1, 2. Here it is all the way over here into the third stitch. Okay. So here's the one I skipped. Here's the next one. Chain chain one, yarn over, put my work forward, and look for that first one. Yarn over, go through two, yarn over, go through two. Okay, again, skip two, one, two, here's the third one. Do a double crochet in the third, chain one. Here's the two stitches that we skipped, so I'm going to go into this one right here with a double crochet from behind. Put my work forward, go underneath, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Now again, we're going to skip two, one, two, into the third, double crochet, chain one. Here's one, two, so I'm going to go for this one right here. Double crochet. Now again, skip two, here's the third, double crochet, chain one, one, two, here's the first one, do a double crochet in it, one, two, into the third, chain one, one, two, this is the one we're going to target, pull it down, right in that stitch, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Somebody said, I still don't like those charts. I hope I learn from you. So the reason why I do the charts is because I can't read a pattern. So I can read a chart and it makes sense, but when it has all the written text, it doesn't compute for me. So one, two, into the third, double crochet, chain one, here's our first one, double crochet. Now I'm kind of to the end here, so this is when I'll kind of start to do my stitch counts and do a check here. So here's my corner. I know from the pattern I need 7 crosses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I ended up with an extra stitch here. I'm just going to ignore it. Now I'm going to do a double crochet into the corner, chain 2, and then a double crochet into the corner. If skipping that stitch bugs you, you could go back and rework one of these. So you could go pull this out, go into that very last one, just move your placement. Then what you could do is, go into both of these even and cinch this up. You could totally do that. Usually if it's behind the stitch, you won't see it. I can't make it do that. I would just go into this one. And it's easier to hide a missed stitch behind a cross like this than when it's really obvious in the corner there. So you could do it that way as well. With a blanket that has this much texture, if you find that gets off a little bit, it's not going to be the end of the world. You're not going to see that. So let's see. They said they don't get it, but I want to learn how to read the chart. Yeah, I learned how to read the chart, and I learned from watching Mikey explain it to me. And then I just do the visual. So again, on this round, we needed 7 crosses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we are in the corner. So now we're going to do the next grouping out. So again, we're going to skip 1 into the next with a double crochet, chain 1. Now we're not going to do this. We're going to go back into the corner, yarn over into that corner with a double crochet. Now we need to skip 2, 1, 2, here's the third, double crochet, chain 1, not this one, go back into this one here that we skipped over, the very first one with a double crochet. Now again, skip 2 into the third, Once you get the hang of this, you know, I haven't done this stitch. I just sat down and figured this out. But you can see, once I get going with it, I start to feel more confident about it. So, you know, it just kind of takes some time when you're first doing one of these patterns like this. Once you start doing the repeat, then it'll come much more naturally. So again, 1, 2, here we are into the third, double crochet, chain 1, skip the middle one, here we go back into the very first one with a double crochet. Now guys, you could do these from the front as well. I have not tried them for the front, but we certainly can try that. So let's try this on the front and see how that is. Let's see, 1, 2, here's the third, double crochet, chain 1. Now instead of going from the back, let's go into the front of this stitch and see how it works. Okay, again, it kind of accomplishes the same thing. Obviously, however you do it, you want to keep going in that same direction. I personally think they look better from the back. That's just me. You know, you can do it however you think. But if you are doing it from the front, let me do this one more time, guys, because I want to point this out. Here's my chain of 1. Like when we do Daisy Farm crafts for Baby Kate's Blessing blanket, right? We go like this, and then we go through, and then grab up a loop and pull it up like this, right? And it literally crosses over, and one is encased in the other. That is not how Mikey shows it on this pattern. Is it right or wrong? You know, you have to make that call for yourself. I don't think it's right or wrong. I don't think it matters. But whatever way you decide to do these crisscrosses, just make sure you do it consistent. So don't start out encasing them in the stitch and then stop encasing them. Either way, we need to just do it consistent, and no one will be the wiser. So however you feel most comfortable doing your crisscrosses, just know that this one is a little different than the other ones that I like to do, because we are skipping 2 stitches and then into the third with the double crochet. The difference is right here, we chain 1, there's a space in between. When we do you know, Daisy Farm's Baby Kate's Blessing, we've done that a lot of times together. You know, there is no skipped stitch there. So just remember that. Be cautious as you're working this new pattern. Assuming you decide to even make the pattern, that is. So again, we're going to skip 2 into the third. Now let me do a count here and see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, here I have 1, 2, 3. I have an extra stitch again here, so I'm not sure what that's about. Y'all will have to check it out, but I'm going to make my adjustment here and get it back on track just by skipping an extra 1 there. Now here we are into the corner. Again, we need a double crochet, chain 2, and then another double crochet. So there's our second side. You can see the fabulous texture coming through of our crisscrosses. Having this back post that we did, see how that's really going to set that off and define that? And that's going to be really nice. So basically that's going to help to kind of break up the pattern. So you're going to have a nice section of texture stitches, and then you're going to have these little ridges that help to define the pattern. Okay, so here we are to the next side. Again, we're going to skip the first one, double crochet into the next, chain 1, and now into the corner. Okay, now we need to skip 2, 1, 2. Here we are into the third with our double crochet, chain 1, skip the middle, back into the first stitch with a double crochet, 1, 2, here's number 3, pop in our double crochet, chain 1, here's the middle stitch, we're going to go back and pick up that first one, double crochet, 1, 2, here we are, number 3, double crochet, chain 1, here's the middle one, here's the first one, double crochet, 1, 2, here's the third, chain 1, and now back to the very first, double crochet, 1, 2, here's number 3, chain 1, pick up the first one that we did. Now here we are to the corner, so again I'm going to do this one here, chain 1, and then pick up the first one. Again, check your counts, make sure you have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're good. Now it's time to fasten off. I'm going to join with a slip stitch right into the corner. And there you can see how our little square is shaping up. Oh, thank you, Anvil. Yes, the pattern for what I'm doing is on the link tree. This is called The Study of Snow Blanket. It's by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. You know I'm a huge Mikey fan. And this is a very fun blanket to make. It's a repeating pattern. So we just finished up the crisscrosses here on round number 8. So now we're ready to move to round number 9. And again, from this diagram, for those that are wanting to learn diagrams, I do mine a little different. See how Mikey has this chain right here? I do not do that. So basically what he's saying is he does a starting chain, then he does his half double. And I only do the half double. I don't need to do this, this chain of 1. So if you're wondering on the diagram what that is, if you do it the way that I do, you just can ignore that. But you'll see here, this stitch, see how it looks like a T? So the way you read these legends, you come down here to the key and you look for the same symbol. So here's the little T. It doesn't have the little hatch mark, so this is a half double crochet. So if we go here to the corner, back up to the pattern, it tells me in the corner, and I like to read these, for those that are new to reading these diagrams, I have a hard time reading it on this side. For whatever reason, my brain, it doesn't like it. I come to this side because for me, here is a chain of 2. I know that's my corner. This stitch right here is the stitch of the round below. So when we looked at our corner, see this stitch right here? From the corner, that is this stitch right here. So that tells me the top of that stitch is going to get a half double crochet. This one, see how it's floating out here in the chains? That's the corner. Half double crochet, chain 2, and then will be another one, half double crochet. And so I see right here, the last stitch of the round I'm going to do is a half double. In between these crisscrosses, remember how we did the chain? You can see there's 3 half doubles in that same space. And so I know immediately I'm going to need to do how I'm going to need to work that out, okay? So here we go into the corner. We're going to do a half double crochet. And I will then chain 2, 1, 2, and then I do a half double crochet. Now, you heard me speak to the fact of how Mikey has a little chain, a single crochet or chain or something that he does here. The reason why he does that, and the reason why I don't have to do that, is because when Mikey joins in his corners, he joins with a half double crochet rather than a slip stitch join. I do a slip stitch join, and thereby I can skip that little chain. I find it confusing. I find it really confusing, and so that's why I don't do that. Now, into the first stitch here, we know we need a half double crochet. Now, here is the crisscross. You can see that we did this. And we had a chain in between. Do you see the chain there? We're going to put, I'm not going to try to put the 3 half doubles into the top of this stitch. I'm going to go right in between the crisscross with my half double crochets. and I'm going to do 3 of them. There's 1, 2, and 3. So what that is going to do is that's going to help add our stitch definition, because by putting those 3 stitches there, it helps to stand these apart in the crossed little crisscross that we did. Now there's no chains or anything. I'm just going to move right to the next space, and again I'm going to put 3 half doubles in that space. So again, this pattern is all about texture, and you're getting that by not necessarily hard, complicated stitches, but how the stitches are strategically placed to give the most stitch definition and create those textures. So I'm just going into the top of each of these crisscrosses with my 3 half doubles. Now, if you were doing a different color, right? When I did this pattern in colors, I did some of these in different, and then that helped to really accentuate how those stitches showed up. So if you look on my page on TikTok, there's a video that it's blue and it looks like ocean colors. And it's a blanket that I made for my sister down in Pensacola. And it is this exact same pattern that we're working on this morning. But you can see how I did the different colors if you want to try to do a visual of how to do those patterns. Now, the other thing that I've mentioned on some of my lives before, if you go on Ravelry, right? Some of you have signed up for Ravelry. Ravelry, for those that don't know, is another like crochet community. It's free, but it has lots and lots. If I am a pattern maker, I am 1,000% involved in Ravelry, because I will be posting my patterns there, and it's just a huge way for sellers not only to sell their patterns, but also to just share their pattern designs. And the other thing that's on Ravelry is the different types of yarns and whatnot. Thank you for the time check, Gen X. And I know some of you are hopping off. Thank you so much for being on the live this morning. But what you could do is you could go into Ravelry and you could search for the pattern, Study of Snow. Then one of the tabs on that pattern, you will see a link that says projects. Anybody who has made this pattern in all the different colors, you can see all the different examples of how this pattern works up in different color yarns. It is a great, great way. The other thing is, you've seen me working with this Red Heart yarn today in the Aran Fleck. Maybe you don't like the pattern that I'm doing, but maybe you like this yarn. You could go on Ravelry, put in this yarn in this color, and again, you could pull up all of the different projects that people made. Something might stand out to you and you might say, "Ooh, I really like that. What is that?" You can then click on it and it will link you to whoever made that pattern, and it will give you all of the details of what they used. So those are a couple great ways if you're looking for inspiration, not only about the pattern, but about the yarn, because maybe this is not appealing to you. This might seem kind of drab. I wanted something that I don't have to think about changing colors. I just wanted something I could just sit down and crochet and show you guys the stitches. So that was the whole point of this project for me. So now here we are. I did the last grouping of 3. Here's our last stitch. Don't forget about him. He needs a double crochet, or excuse me, a half double crochet. Now here we are into the corner with another half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this round. I know I need to be getting off and getting ready to go to work, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this. It bugs me to stop in the middle of a round sometimes. So here's our first stitch. Again, we need a half double crochet. And here's our first crisscross. The crisscross right into that space, we need 3 half double crochets. And it's as simple as that. This is a very easy, relaxing round of just half doubles. So again, look for the next crisscross, find the space that you're going to go into, 3 half doubles. So I hope this has been a fun pattern to watch today as we've worked on some stitches. I know I have missed a lot of the comments today, and I do apologize. You know, it's not intentional, guys. When I'm working on these, it's challenging to you know, see all the comments and crochet and talk through all the stitches. But I hope you have you know, found this useful today. I'm sure I'm going to have great projects on deck for next week as well. I haven't decided for sure what all those are going to be in what order, but I will be releasing, you know, the schedule. So keep lookout for that. Everything will be on the link tree again, as per the norm. I do know I'm probably going to work on the little miniature flower baby blanket because I did get my sew diagram created for that pattern. I worked on that last night before I went to bed. So here is all of the different colors I'm doing on the little flowers. And the crazy part about this, do you see these counts here, guys, of how many flowers I need? Yikes, that's a lot of flowers. And this is going to be 35 by 31. That's before I do the edging. So anyhow, I'm sure I'm going to work on that maybe one day this week. I also am going to work on another baby blanket, either Baby Kate's Blessing blanket or the baby blanket that we worked on yesterday, which is Craft and Crochet pattern 2208. Either way, I'm probably going to be working on a 2208 border. So we have that coming for next week, and probably some new project. So anyhow, we'll have that coming as well. I know some of you all are hopping off. I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Thanks for being with me on the live this week. The county fair, I did great. For those that want to stick around for the county fair, I'll give you a rundown as I'm finishing off this row. I entered the fall blanket, the mosaic blanket, in the Afghan category, and it won first place. I also entered a bedspread that I made before I started going on live, and that won first place in the Afghan category. It is a red, like a burgundy wine color, and a green and like an ivory. It's really pretty, but it's a bedspread, and that won first place. I also entered the rosebud baby blanket, and that won first place. I entered the bunny rattle that matched the baby blanket, the rosebud baby blanket. That also won first place for baby item, accessory, other, not otherwise listed. My embroidery, I won third place. The Halloween ghost that we made on the live got a second place. The dish scrubby, the facial exfoliator, I have those pinned on my page on TikTok for the tutorial of those. That won second place as well. And so it was a really, there was a lot of crochet this year. The whole wall was completely filled. I will get everything back on Sunday. Anyhow, it was really fun. My husband took me down there Monday night because I couldn't stand it. Once I get everything back, guys, I will release some videos with the ribbons so you can kind of see, you know, what everything is, and I'll definitely be sharing those. But once I get the rosebud baby blanket back, I probably next week will be working on the rosebud baby blanket. Because so many people are interested in that blanket and the pattern, and I need to make some tutorials of how to work on that that blanket. And so anyhow, that might be on deck for next week as well. But you know, just stay tuned to the schedule. You guys know how to get to my schedule both on TikTok, and it'll be on YT now. For those that don't know, I'm live streaming this morning both on TikTok and my YT channel. So if you want to check me out over there, I'm trying to release more content as well. Feel free to give me a follow. The link is on the link tree, but I am Wheeler 8 Acres, just like TikTok. And let's see, was there something else? April forgot about her baby blanket with applique and has, yeah, the baby hat. So I entered the little dinosaur baby hat, and I completely forgot that I had entered it. So I don't know if the hat got anything. There was so much, it was a lot to know what I had entered. The whole wall was full of projects and fun stuff. And so I was checking out not just my work, but all of the different projects. There was beautiful baby dresses that were crocheted. There was the fall pumpkin display was super cute. There was lots and lots of blankets. There were sunflower blankets. There were so many beautiful, beautiful projects. And so I did do a little video when I was there. I haven't released it yet, so that you guys could kind of see some of the different items. I kind of want to get my stuff back, and then I'll work on some, some content. But it was really fun. I definitely, it's a great experience. For those that have not entered projects in their county fair, it's so much fun. I really highly recommend it. Just to go and see the other people's stuff. Legos, for those that have kids, Legos is a huge thing here in Alabama. And I don't know if it's, I suspect it's that way for everywhere. Kids make models and enter Legos as entries in the county fair. The Boy Scouts always have booths and stuff that they've entered, and we have a big agricultural farming influence. So we watched the lamb competition when we were there Monday night. We went through the chicken barn and all the different livestock. The FFA had stuff in the fair. There was all sorts of handicrafts. There was this really cool like model truck that somebody had made out of wood. There was ceramics. Photography was huge. There was a whole room of just photography. And then, of course, all of the canning and agricultural. So there was, people that enter all their produce that they've grown in their gardens and everything. And that was everywhere on, there was a whole area that was all the agricultural entries, along with all of the plants. If you're into garden, like house plants and flowers, there was just a beautiful, beautiful, again, another whole room that was nothing but the different types of flowers and house plants and everything that people had entered. So it's a very fun experience. Of course, they had all the rides and food and all that. So I don't know, my husband and I, we don't have kids, but the county fair was a big thing when I was growing up. You all have heard me talk about it. And so, of course, I highly recommend it, even if you're an adult without kids, to go and participate. And just the whole experience of going, the kids are so excited. It's just a fun atmosphere. And it does make me feel like a kid again. I walk in and you can just kind of feel it. It's just a vibe. And so, I turned 49 this year, but it's okay to feel like a kid, to walk in and have that experience and see your stuff displayed and hanging on a wall and feeling, like an excited, 5-year-old. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But it is a super rewarding experience. So I highly, highly recommend it for those that haven't done it. Find out about your county fair. I'm already thinking about what am I going to do in the county fair next year, right? I did win. The last thing I didn't say was the market bag, the pink market bag. For the accessory, that won first place. It also did receive the best of show. So I did get the best of show for crochet again this year for our county fair. So, I'm not trying to be a braggart, guys. I really am not. It's a very humbling experience. But I did do very well. I got 5 blue ribbons, 2 red ribbons, and 1 white ribbon. And then the baby hat, I have no idea how it did. And then I also got the best of show. So anyhow, it's really funny. If you want to join the Discord, if you're not on it, there are fair pictures on the Discord. So if you wanted to get on the chat server, it's on the link tree, and there are pictures already there of the county fair. Just they're unedited, just whatever I took that night. So feel free to check it out. But thanks again, everyone, for a fabulous week. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for being kind to each other. Thanks for loving and supporting me. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I think we'll have great projects again next week. So anyhow, that will wrap everything up, but thanks again. Bye for now.